Hello and welcome. Two of my favorite things, appreciation and abundance. And in case you haven't noticed already, they are directly related to one another. Appreciation is a deeper form of gratitude. So gratitude is something that you might think, but it might not come all the way down into your body where you feel this tremendous appreciation for the people in your life, the circumstances in your life, how things might be going in your business. And it's really a deep well of emotion that comes along with it. So it's taking gratitude to a deeper level. And abundance it can show up in the form of money. You can have an abundance of friends. You can have an abundance of support. You can look into nature for the representation of abundance. It is literally everywhere. And one of my favorite experiences and most treasured memories when I first experienced appreciation and abundance in the most miraculous way, and it may still be probably one of the most miraculous ways that I've experienced to date, in the way that it was experienced and the symbology and the circumstances. Back a while ago, when I had this first experience, back when The Secret movie came out, and I was just learning about the law of attraction in a little bit more in-depth way, I was very curious and very excited about this. I have a whole huge passion on the laws of the universe and why things work and why they don't work and how do you use them to your advantage and so on. And my oldest son and I were at the beach, and we were talking about manifesting seashells. And so the beach that we were at is a beach that I grew up as a kid, and I've always really adored those big giant conch shells. And I'd never in my life seen a single one of those at this particular beach. And I say that so that you have a preface for this whole entire story, which is the perfect demonstration of appreciation and abundance and how they go hand in hand. So the whole week that we were there for probably 4 or 5 days before this experience occurred. And we were walking along the beach and we're talking about it. And he was pretty curious about the law of attraction too, which I thought was pretty cool. I had someone to talk to about it on vacation. And we were just talking about the different things, and we were talking about how you have to feel, really, really feel it in order for whatever it is that you're envisioning in your mind to show up for you. And so he was telling me about the seashell that he was going to manifest, and I was telling him about the seashell that I was going to manifest. And the seashell that I was going to manifest was a big blue conch shell. And for those of you who don't know what that looks like, it's a really big, cool shell. It's bigger on this end, and then it kind of tapers down. And so we're walking along, and we found other ones. We found a smaller one that was a creamy color, and I was saying to my son that this is a clue that more is on its way. And so this one day, this big storm came, and we were up in the condo that we were staying in. And after the storm cleared, it was really cool outside. It's always neat on the beach after you go outside. And my son and I are walking along, and I think I had on shorts. I didn't even have a bathing suit on. And he of course had a bathing suit on because it's hard to keep him out of the water. And we're walking along, and there was this one part on the beach where it was almost like a little sandbar, if you will. And then beyond that was like a pool of ocean water that had accumulated. I guess the sea had moved things around in the midst of the storm and so on. And so we're walking, and I said, I really feel like today's the day. Today's the day that we're going to find these shells that we've been thinking about all week, that we've been feeling about all week, that we've been envisioning all week long. And we go along, and I look out amongst the waves that are crashing onto the shore, and I see this big thing tumbling, which it's not unlikely to be somebody's shoe or a piece of wood. And I realized that that's not what it was. It was an actual big giant conch shell. And so I'm yelling at my son, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, let's go look, and let's go get it. And we run down, and we pick up this big giant conch shell that was creamy in color. And it was so beautiful and it was so cool. And I was so blown away by this whole experience with my son, where we spent the entire week thinking about it, talking about it, feeling it, and all of this stuff. And we're standing there and we're just kind of waiting because we're thinking, geez, are more going to come? This is going to be amazing, you know? And now we start finding all of these really cool snail shells, and they're in like the pool pond part of the section of the beach that we were at. And as I turned around to look, you know, at the seashells in the pond area there, I looked up and I saw this couple standing at the edge of the pathway down to the beach, but they were very dressed up and they had shoes on, so it wasn't like they were going to come down to the water necessarily. And I looked at my son and I said, you know what? I said, why don't you take that conch shell that we just found and take it up and give it to them? I just had a feeling inside of me that it would make a big difference for them, an intuition that I'm grateful that I trusted. And so he walked up there. At first he looked at me like, Mom, what are you, crazy? We've been working all week in our minds and our thoughts and our bodies to have this shell come up from the shore. What are you, crazy, giving it away? And so he went and he gave it away, and we headed on down the beach a little bit further, and just a few feet further we went, there were 4 or 5 more conch shells that were coming up on the shore. Even still to this day, it chokes me up to think about how miraculous this was and how symbolic it was for both my son and I. And so he's running in one direction and I'm running in the other direction, and all of these conch shells are rolling up to the point where we can't even collect them and carry them all at once, because there were 4 or 5 or 6 of them. And I went up to him and he was so excited. He's like, oh my gosh, Mom, look at this. And I can't believe this. And I was feeling the same way and saying the same thing to him. And I squatted down and I got on his level and I looked at him in the eyes and I said, do you see just how beautiful and miraculous it is that when you are given something and you share it with someone else, that God comes back and blesses you 20-fold, if not 100-fold or even more. And it was such a beautiful and miraculous experience. And we ended up giving away a couple more of these conch shells, and I had a blue one that I went home with, and he came home with a cream colored one that he had that were about this big. And we still have them to this day. And it is a beautiful symbology of what happens when you engage in creation with the divine, and you have abundance and you appreciate it and you give it away and you trust that more will be given to you. And then you wait and you open your arms to receive, and you again give thanks and appreciate. And I will leave you with that so that you can find your own journey of learning how to appreciate and enhance the abundance in your life from this place of appreciation and from this deep place of being connected with the divine and opening up to receive more fully to the abundance that is already there for you. It's waiting for you to say yes.